chasing skies, endless breeze, footsteps loud, riverbeds, climbing proud, no pretense, adventure calls through the haze, heart and throes, blazing ways.
Hello, everyone. How's it going? Our good friend Vrograg right here, hanging out in Hyjal. I don't want to fish underneath Nordrasil. I want to try some of the other fishing spots. I just want to see if there's anything different over there. But hello, everyone. Lizzie Babs, Gildark. I see Sonic was in here earlier, and Raukangren. The mainstays, the regulars. How's it going? I wanted to stream this week, but I just didn't find time. I've been working on finalizing and sharpening up some of the icons that I'm going to have submitted that may or may not make it into the game. So I have been busy with that. I did news this week on the radio. Hopefully some of you caught it. Also, I would love to know, did anyone hear my Easter egg that I put in the news this week? Because I flat out did. I don't think Dan from the radio checked. He didn't catch it. If someone knows what it is, put it in chat if you know. Because you definitely would have noticed it. Because I usually submit 3 to 4 news segments. There's always top news, market watch, community bulletin, and changelog roundup. News was really slow for this previous week. And so I actually called that out when I was doing my news. And so I just did like a, I called that out in the news and I said, well, news is pretty short, so to fill the time, I'm going to blank. Did anyone hear it? I don't think Murag knows. I don't think anyone knows. If you heard it, you know it, but we did see, I had a picture up shortly before I started streaming. We did have a, I caught wind of a peculiar thing that happened to the Inferno community, where they, there was a big death in AQ20. I think it was a full raid wipe on Moam. If anyone knows that boss, you probably don't think about it much if you've done AQ20. Most groups don't ever really think about the mechanics on Moam, because everyone knows when you get there, oh, you're supposed to do mana drain. And if you don't, he gets the full power and he lets off an arcane explosion that does 3,000 damage raid wide and throws you up in the air. I think that's less of an issue for Hardcore and Inferno because they have like fall protection. It's not I think they can take up to 10% of their health. I don't think they were thrown up that high. I actually don't know. It's been a while. But, that was, I'm like, dang, did they just based on the fact that they all seem to die at the same time, I'm thinking that it was the arcane explosion. Oh, who's this? Vivian Druid. A little slash wave. I am right here in Hyjal. I really want to try. I have to turn in a quest. If you've done the Runestone quest, I want to turn this in, but I also want to check out these fishing pools to see if there's anything different there. And then I'll probably fish around there. I might also work my way into Barkskin Village and try fishing where the Barkskin Fisher is. So that'll just be our plan for now. Plenty to talk about. And at some point, I'm going to be looking at the teaser trailer Turtle WoW dropped this week. And wow, what else is on the docket? I had something else. And we'll take a look at the Molten Core thing, too. If you know, you know. I'm not really playing... I wonder how much of the game I could play off muscle memory with Vrograg at this point. Because I know how to, like, stealth and kill things. Also, if I am doing that... I was trying to do Annihilator stuff with Vrograg, because you can do axes now as a rogue. It's not that good. It's a lot of damage loss. I do have 2 axes, technically. I have the Blessed Karaji War Axe, and my offhand is the Ancient Hikari Manslayer. It's certainly a downgrade from Thunder Fury Iblis, but I like axes, so I've been trying to make it work. It's like I purposely nerfed myself because I'm too powerful. Did you know Dreamless Sleep Potion can save you from great fall damage, freezing your descent in the air? I didn't know that, Raukengren. That's actually a pretty good tip. Obviously, hardcores don't generally have to worry about that, but if you're softcore, that's interesting. Okay, wait. And if it's 1, 2... Yeah, I could probably do most of this. 5 is my Eviscerate, 4 is my Blade Flurry. Alright. You'll notice, by the way, all the succubi are dead, which I think is very deliberate, because they have a chance to drop Fellcloth, and Fellcloth values are still pretty high. So, if I see one, I'm going to stop to kill them, in case I get a Fellcloth. For anyone who's been following along with my Rexana journey, I think I dinged 52 recently. I started doing Fellwood with Murag. Having some fun over there. I'm not going to... Truth be told, I don't know if I'm going to be able to pry Murag away from what she's doing right now. She's a huge RimWorld fan. And if you are also a RimWorld fan, you are aware that a new content patch, I guess? Well, you have to pay for it. They kind of do it like expansion. Expansion, thank you. A new expansion dropped. What's the name of it? I can see how long my... I can see how long my ping is. Odyssey. You can do stuff in space now. But Murag loves that game. Once upon a time, like way back, like 10 years ago, I think, actually, which is kind of crazy to think about, I turned her onto that game, and she loved it way more than I did. A little bit like WoW, actually. She just kind of takes the games that I enjoy and I'm good at, and then just does better than I do.
Steam says I have 2,149 hours.
She has over 2,000 hours in RimWorld. That's impressive. You can pretty much do the Hyjal dive back to Darkshire with 0 damage. I didn't, Raukengren, the more you're talking about, the more that sounds actually pretty interesting. Also, point of order, Raukengren, does it have to be Dreamless Sleep, or can it also be Greater? Yeah, there's 2 Dreamless Sleeps, right? There's a regular and a Greater. I'm pretty sure. Here, let's see if I can, hold on. Remember my keybinds. Okay, that's 3 combo points. Slice and dice. Interrupt. Eviscerate? There it is. I have no idea what I got for loot. Yeah, playing with Alt-Z is interesting. Now that's got to be an interesting challenge. Like, you can only... How would I do that challenge? So it's called the UI-less challenge. You can only change keybinds and interact with NPCs in, I guess, in sanctuaries, in towns. The only other exception is if you're picking up a quest, you're allowed to Alt-Z, but you can't change your keybinds. Or you could make a UI with PFUI where you just hide all your bars. Thank you, Raukengren. Good job. You're very quick on that one. That's exactly Parody. That's exactly what I'm thinking. By the way, Parody, you better be at the Blackwing Guard social thing. I've been running Blood on the Clock Tower games last couple weeks for my guild. We've had so much fun. The problem is people I think get intimidated because they're like, uh-oh, Vrograg's doing a thing. I don't know what he's doing. I don't want to look silly. Meanwhile, we've made some fantastic new friends. A random guy, not random, but like new to the guild. You know, he took that step. He joined us for one of the games. His name is Jar Jar. Made half of us almost piss ourselves laughing. Jar Jar is just the funniest guy, turns out. That's why I like doing social events, because you can help people come out of their shells. You can meet new people. You can make new friends. So I had a lot of fun doing that. I have some fun stuff cooked up for this week's Blood Beneath Blackrock. EU people, if you wanted to go to that and you know where Blackwing Guard's guild base is, might be a little late because it's going to be 6 p.m. Eastern, which is like midnight plus for you. But to all my US homies who might be up earlier, like I am, you're more than welcome to join. Anyone's welcome to join, really. But Parody, it is something that like maybe in the future I could stream, sure, but when you run the game, it's actually pretty involved. Now, she gotta be dead soon, right? There it is. No loot? What? Oh, man. But yeah, because, like, I have to privately message people. I have to, like, run a spreadsheet showing, like, who's doing accusations, who's done all this other stuff. So it is actually surprisingly involved. All right, there's a slice and dice. Wait for the casting. Interrupt. You know, the fun part is after I loot, I have no idea what I got from who. Maybe there is something to the UI-less run. Because one thing you'd have a lot of trouble with is you don't know when your bag space runs out. It would be like a logistical nightmare, I think, but it'd be fun. Do I have any news? Have any news and scandals about the server? I mean, if I do scandals, it's probably going to be like something that's... The only scandals I think I would cover are ones where there is clearly something fishy going on with the turtle team. They know that. They know that I would cover that. But I have one that I would call, I guess, a scandal. I don't want to give the person any more attention than they've already received. But this is more of an internal, I guess, scandal, if you want to call it that. But there was someone who has streamed, does stream... doesn't stream anymore. I don't know the exact situation. Again, not going to say their channel or anything, but they're sort of a weird American boomer that equated hearing about an LGBT gay-friendly guild and consider that sexual harassment. Somehow, in their brain, they have equated romantic preference with sexual harassment. And that was some sort of, like... Anyway, staff were harassed about it. So as far as scandals go, like, the team acted fine, in my estimation, but that guy's crazy. Oh, dang, I missed my kick. And I just hit sprint. Oops. Or is that sprint? No, I hit adrenaline rush. Kill the Temptress. I have 1,000,000 energy. Okay, I think there is something to play in the game this way. I think it's way tougher for Rogue, too, because you don't know how, like, you don't ever really know how many combo points you have because you might miss. And if you have your UI off, you won't know when you miss. Oh, White Dragon, what's up? Hey, White Dragon, you know, that's fine. And I tell people all the time, like, if you're not having fun with the game or whatever, take a break, do something else, you know? The thing that I love, maybe even in an unhealthy amount, is the community here. So even if, like, I'm not having as much fun with the game, I could just chill and chat with you guys and gab it up, you know, and I'm fine. Sounds like you need that ultra hard add-on. I don't know. Does it need to be an add-on? I could just use PFUI and make it so that all of my action bars are invisible. I could do that. And then I would have a separate profile where I could put in my action bars when I'm in town or something. That would make for... I think I should do something like that. I gotta finish up Rexana. Rexana is rounding the hill, so to say. Hold on. look at them all fill in, because mixed scrolling battle text keeps some stuff cached for you. Okay. The clutch of Atheralex is reliant on elemental magic, drawing power from potent natural energies. To access the magic that we so desire, we must acquire an imbued stone. Powerful and enraged elementals of stone are known to hold such items. On the island of Telebim, to the east of Tenaris, you can find the agitated rock elementals. Travel there and acquire... You know what's funny about this quest? Let me show you what the functionality of this quest is. You see where I am right here? There's a rune stone you can click when you finish this quest that will teleport you from here to here. But to do the full quest chain, you have to go all the way down here, pick up the quest, then you have to talk to someone in Nordinar, then you have to come back to this guy, talk to him, you have to get 3 Satyr rods, so then you have to go to Telebim, get the thing, come back here again, and then the runestone will activate. It feels like it doesn't save that much time, but I've been doing Emerald Sanctum on Vrograx, so I'm like, I should just get this done whenever I have a chance. So I guess I have to go to Telebim at some point now. But I did want to check out the fishing holes here. I wasn't making that up. So there is water here. There's enemies around the water too, so I might need to be careful. There's an ooze there, and there's an ooze there. Maybe I can fish from there. That looks like a good spot. Just levitate down like a boss? Well, that's the thing. I mean, so I have a, oh, what do you call it? I have a parachute cloak, right? So I think the quickest way to get here is you'd still go to Nordinar. You can't get on this mountain range, but you can go to Barkskin Plateau and then float down. But when you're going to Emerald Sanctum, it's a lot quicker, I think, to take this runestone and then ride up into the Emerald Gateway. It's not that much longer to go this way, but I still like doing the quest, so. All right.
Parody's just teasing you about not being a priest. He's just levitate like a priest.
That's fine. I'll take the teasing in stride. Oh, I actually got a small dream shard. All right. Now, first things first, I need to... We're doing science here. So you can see that this is a new fishing hole for me. It's just called Hyjal. It's just generic Hyjal. So right now I have 335. I want to see if the fishing boat will work here. It may not. I need to find a spot where I can swim. There it is. Do they still have this in here? I think I have a fishing boat on me. It I mean, shouldn't make a difference. the fish thinking cap. That's right. I foresee a world where those oozes keep bothering me while I fish, which is not the best, but... All right, did I get the plus 50? I did not get the plus 50, looks like. Let me double check over here. Yep, so that means fishing boats are still broken. I know that the team is aware of the fact that they're broken, and I think the fix is coming in the patch. Only other fishing bonus gear I have is my gloves. Do I have those with me? I don't with me right now. It only adds like 5 or 2 or something silly. Let's see, if I get 70, that puts me at 405. Oh, that's not enough, is it? We'll try 405. I think I'm still going to have missed catches. I might have to use Aqua Dynamic fish attractors. Is my Turtle Wow sound on? I don't even know. It is. Okay. Okay, I did catch. And I caught... Ooh, interesting. So... Oh, no. Alright, maybe I'll just fish from... Well, if I fish here, can I fish in the boat? I guess I can. It'll be a little hard to click that. I did Larazia. So, there's a couple curiosities I had about the Moam fish incident. Now, my understanding, because I didn't speak with, but I checked to see if it was a hard chores, because I follow hard chores pretty close. Like, I've been homies with some of those guys for like years at this point. So it wasn't from hard chores, so I'm pretty sure it's one of the Chinese Inferno raiding guilds. I have actually had an interaction with one of the victims of that. What happened? Oh, we are getting eels. That's good. And my guess, because a couple weird things happen, right? So according to like databases and stuff, from what I could remember and what I checked, if you let Moam get up to full mana, he does an arcane explosion, which does roughly 3,000 damage. Now, here's what I'm confused about. If you're doing Inferno raiding, you should be stacking at least some amount of stamina consumables, if not stamina gear. So for everyone to die from 3,000, even if you're... Okay, we got a miscatch there. Interesting. But I caught a stone scale eel. Anyway, if you die from... I would find it hard to believe, but believable, that even pre-raid BIS characters died from the arcane explosion. I think that's where I'm like, huh? Yeah, Larazia. As far as I'm aware, there might be one that does stuff in the shadows, but I haven't been made aware of them. Hard Chores is the premier English-speaking Northernar Inferno guild. I did see someone from Hard Chores say that the tank lived, but then died shortly thereafter, probably because all the healers died. Some other interesting thing I want to bring up that I think not a lot of people considered. Moam did not get to Phase 2. There is a Phase 2 on Moam. I think you have to... If you don't kill him like in a minute 30 or something, you kind of... It's sort of like a submerge phase for Moam. The way it works, from my recollection, I've never seen it happen, but I had someone in my guild was goofing around, and I think they had that happen to them. You can't damage Moam, and he summons a bunch of portals where Voidwalkers pour out, and you got to kill the Voidwalkers, and then after that, you can start damaging Moam again. if that was what happened, we probably would have seen, like, you know, Moam servants killed some of those people. So that, because they all seem to die from Moam, I'm betting that it was from the arcane explosion. Even though I find it hard to believe, that's the only conclusion I can draw. What is meant by finding a fishing hole? I'm checking the other fishing spots, Ploxin, in Hyjal. I guess I found one, but I first wanted to see if fishing boats are working. They're not. If I can put fishing boats down, I can in these waters. And I wanted to see if these loot tables are any different, which so far they're not, but I still think I need 420 plus fishing for these, which is sad, but I can put on Aqua Dynamic after this. I do know there are some people that call that boss Mom. I think when I say Moam, it's kind of really accentuating the last syllable there. Doesn't really feel necessary. Interesting thing to note about this fishing hole. I'm not getting double catches. I usually would get one by now. Could you imagine if I did the no UI challenge and I just had to fish? I have no idea if I'm getting levels up. I don't know what I'm catching. Firefin Snapper, interesting. You can catch Firefin Snapper, I believe, up under Nordrassil, but it's actually on the rarer side, if I remember. When my bait runs out, we could take a look at something related, I personally think, to Moam. Moam? I like Moam, I'm sorry. Either way, it's a good cautionary tale. Ooh, that was a double catch, and that was Globes of Water. Hello. Hey, you know what? Let's transmute that right now. You can transmute sitting? I thought you had... I thought you had to be standing for that. It's weird, the things that where like the game makes you stand up to do it. I thought transmute would be one of them. You know what? I think I will change the where's the title? Is that the title? No. It's under Hyjal fishing tests. Yeah, that's a little bit more accurate to what I'm doing right now. So yeah, that was a peculiar thing. So to do a little preamble to what we're going to be watching after I finish up with this lore, there's been two things speaking pretty directly about a Molten Core expansion, a Molten Core edition. Pretty sure we're gonna get a new boss. We'll check that out though. My personal, I personally think that, and I this is a very unpopular opinion, but I think Rag is way too easy. Everyone just DPSs him and he dies. He has two things he does, right? But he's the main boss of a raid, like he's the final one. So I always feel like you should have to taste all that he has to offer. We are getting double catches, by the way. And I personally would love if they put something in so you have to deal with Submerge Phase on Rag. Yep. Yeah. My understanding. We'll take a look at the artwork too for Incendia. I love that idea though. That if you've done stuff in Searing Gorge, is it Searing Gorge or the other one? Anyway, you have to deal with Incidosaurs. I love the idea of them putting a big Incidosaur boss out for the community. I think that's gonna be awesome. Okay, this... I can get one more cast, maybe, if I'm lucky. I've only gotten one failed catch, which means there's not that many things that require 420 in this water. But I'm still getting stone scale. Don't know what to make of that. Alright, let's take a look. This is more or less what I caught. Ooh, I got some. Ooh, a golden pearl. Let's go. The big catch here was 2 globes of water on my first little round here. Golden pearl's really good though, and 3 stone scale eel. All right, let me stealth Frograg while he's sitting. All right, let me get this set up. I actually did pre-stream setup, so this shouldn't be too obnoxious. Where's my music? Okay, and then I go over here. And then I turn on the audio. Hopefully this isn't too loud. I was looking at the recipe for this, by the way. But so first, there's this. This was released pretty recently, yeah, on the 12th. I mean, look at this big boy. Look at him. He's just a little lost. He's like, guys, I got lost in Molten Core. Can you help me find home? Where am I going? He's a nice boy. And I'm sure he's going to make a bunch of friends. Also, shout outs to Lionel Schramm, who does all these illustrations. He does such good detailed work. I love his art. Obviously, in game, it's not going to look like that. But in the imagination, it's going to be like that. I hope, like, to scale, I don't think he's going to be that big. If he is, that's nuts. He's going to be like Ragnaros sized. But we will see. And so this is the trailer. Let me know if it's too loud. But we'll take a look at this. This is only 1:40. Okay, so Razorfen Crawl extension. It's interesting they're adding more of these plant elemental things. I'd have to brush up on my Razorfen Crawl. I think, which one's the more undead one? Razorfen Downs, I think, is the more undead one. So I think that's okay, because I remember like one has more like dark shamanism, and the other one's like more like actually has like a little mini KT in it. So I think this is fine. Downs has all the... Yep, okay, there it is, yeah. Has all the necromancy. Alright, so now we have the Temple of Agamaggan. That is a custom asset, if I've ever seen one. I'm pretty sure that's like some sort of pig deity they have. Alright, so this is clearly Zul'Farrak. Yeah, the Faraki Arena. I know it's not going to happen, but please be an instanced free-for-all area a content creator like me would love this, where I could just invite people and be like, come on in for the event. That'd be so cool. 'Cause I love little stuff like that. The Faraki Tombs. Now, if you go back in like the teaser channel of Turtle Wow's Discord, you'll see that they did show off this entrance before, so they have been working on this for a while, and I think they released that back in like January or February. Very interesting. I wonder how overtuned it's gonna be. And by the way, if you're a caster and you see a guy with that shield, you immediately go, damn it, I can't do anything. I can't wand. Or sometimes your wand damage can get through, but you see that and you're like, well, I guess I don't do anything for a while till it goes away. I mean, don't get me wrong, if you do physical damage, I know there's times where you can't do damage, but it happens a lot less often in PvE. So I just thought that was interesting. Sorry, Parody saying, and Agamemnon was the boar guardian god that fought in the War of the Ancients against the Legion. He was sadly brought down, but not before killing hundreds of thousands of demons. I don't know if that's true, but that sounds pretty awesome. When he died, thorns sprouted from his body, and that's why the Quillboar live in the thorns, because it's basically their lifeblood of their god. Oh, that's cool. Ploxen, I believe. I think there's other spots, but I don't know for sure. I think there might be a spot in Ashara that does it, but... Hello, Onega. Oh, is that physical damage? That's good to know. Alright, so this is Zoram Strand. So this is probably a Black Fathom Deeps thing, yep. Oh, okay, okay. So if you've done Black Fathom Deeps, there's like a portion, it's like a big open area where you have to walk on like sort of a part of a sunken temple. And I think I know where this is going to be. There's like a little extension off to one side. So that'll be interesting. Looks like Temple of Elune. Bad Night Elves? About time. Ooh. Look, oh, sorry, hold on. Go back a little bit. I really want to see that. Look at that. Look at that. That is totally a custom object. They just made that. Looks really good. The stained glass, I'm sure you guys see that, but that's... There's a tree they're channeling something into. Okay. Okay. Do note, updated Molten Core boss fights. I mean, yes to new boss, but they say they're going to update how the bosses fight. What are we seeing here? Oh, that's a lot of blinks. Okay, so Shazra's gonna blink more? It's kind of terrifying. Can I go back just a couple frames? Is it this keybind? Yeah, it is. Go back. I don't want to go back 10 seconds. I just want to go back a little bit. Come on. All right, fine. I'll go back 10 seconds. Dang it. Now I'm back too far. Okay, so what does he do here? So there's blink number 1. Forward a couple frames. He does an auto. There's an auto attack. And looks like he's going back to the... He's going to someone. Looks like he's going after a healer. Nope, now the tank has taunted him. And then he blinks to someone else. Yeah, that's actually pretty terrifying. I'm a little scared of that. I mean... Unless they change the amount of health he has, I don't think I'm really in danger at, like, my level of gear. But for progression rating, That's going to make Molten Core not such a pushover, so that's very interesting. Okay, so let's see, what do we have here? So this is Golemag. What's the thrust here? What are they getting at? Wait a minute, did I... Is this... That doggo is not being controlled by a tank. What are they telling us? Do the tanks need to be dealt with? Oh, sorry, no, do the dogs need to be dealt with differently now? They don't show us much here. That's something interesting. Oh, there he is! There's the good boy. Look at him. He's just a fire lizard dog, so I love him. He's great. Ooh, he actually looked pretty cool though. Look at those cool runes on his back. Or I don't know if it's runes, but it looks like, yeah, like molten. Oh, that's so cool. He has his own little room. Thank you, Lorazia. Looking like a double-stacked cheeseburger. Old Shadowforge. So note, there is a new boss, new mechanics, and there is Old Shadowforge, which is interesting. Now that, I don't know if we have any Dwarven lore smiths here, but I didn't know there were two Was there two Shadowforges? Maybe there was. I actually don't know. I'll have to look, see if they're actually, because that might be. I did research Dwarven history for that Hateforge Core deep dive. Let's see. I remember they made their home here. Yeah, maybe when Ragnaros got summoned, he did destroy their first version, so maybe that is what this is. Some new mobs. They're not saying they're bosses, but these are new mobs at least. It's pretty cool. Is that King Thorazon? I think that's King Thorazon. It might be. The dwarves created Molten Core in the sense they dug through and found him. Well, no, that they didn't just find him, John, because it was during the either the Civil War or the War of the Three Kings. King Thorazon, I remember. King Thorazon wanted to stage like a surprise attack, and he he sent his queen, his wife, to go attack the Wildhammer, while he led an assault on Ironforge, and both of them were repelled. The one at Wildhammer, if I remember correctly, like the ones at Wildhammer, like they almost killed everyone to a man, and Princess Mogood she was one of the strongest shadow priests ever to exist. She put like a mega curse on Grim Batol, which was at that time the Wildhammer's home. Word got to King Thorazon, and he's like, crap, they're going to kick our butts. And that's when he turned to summoning Ragnaros. Now, maybe when they were digging, they found a way, but I don't think like they just, oops, there's a Ragnaros. Like, they were very deliberate in summoning Ragnaros. Please, for the sake of my sanity and ADHD, try using the pull trick. I don't think it's Thorazon. And then they built the Shadowforge. The pull trick? What is the pull trick? You talking about doing this? Does this make you happier to see me doing this? I mean, we're at the end. I think this right here is probably, to me, the most interesting thing. I mean, it's because the 7 are accounted for, right? So, when King, I don't know, I think he was King. No, Thane. He was Thane Thorazon. When he summon Ragnaros, he had 7 people with him, and you deal with those 7 in Blackrock Depths. That's what that little, I guess it's an event fight, but we haven't seen him, so this could be him. Well, he wasn't a member of the 7. He was in charge, I think. Interesting. Okay. So yeah, that was the trailer. I think if I'm being honest with you guys, if they're tinkering with the encounters in Molten Core, in my opinion, I really think Ragnaros should, I don't know how you do it, but whether it's like his real submerge phase or like a different version, I think players should have to deal with the submerge phase. That's my take on Ragnaros, so I'm hoping for that personally, even though it might make my, like, I might wipe and but I just think it'd be more fun. You deal with the ghosts, right? Resurrected people is not uncommon. Yep. I don't think they're going to give him legs, Panda. I have a lot of faith in the Turtle Out team, but I don't think they're going to give him legs. I don't, oh, what am I doing? They need an actual, do I have Aqua Dynamic Fish Attractors? Oh boy, don't crash, don't crash. Aqua, I do. Lovely. So, I'll put that on right there. All right, so that's going to get me up to 435. So I should have no trouble catching anything now. I only had like 1 or 2 failed casts though, so I'm not sure what the exact level is here. As long as it isn't a stone ball, then I'm happy. I want that rock, Larazia. I want that rock on Vrograg. I would love to have a rock I get to throw at people. Well, I mean, I don't think it's going to majorly screw over hardcore players. It might, but here's the thing. The hardcore players that do raiding, except for that group we saw, are generally very cautious. And also, Molten Core wasn't really... I mean, they did do it, but they did it, like, last summer, I think. But where at least Hard Chores is, I don't think specifically for Hard Chores it's going to be that big of an issue, because they don't need a lot of gear from there. Now they're at, like, BWL gearing. So, I think for new hardcore raiding groups, it might be an issue. Obviously, the thing is you don't raid it for the first month. You let the soft cores figure out all the glitches, all the oopsies, and all the new mechanics. And even then, you still play it pretty low-key, pretty easy. Don't take any crazy risks. There's also a world where that new boss is optional. He might be optional. My question is, what new loot are they going to put in there? Are they changing other Molten Core loot? I think that's what's worth asking. Drew, I have made that suggestion. I think survival should be the skill to make lures, should be able to do chum buckets for fishing. I believe this, and I want the team to do it. So the survival rework, according to the roadmap, comes in 1.18.1. So probably not going to come out with the new patch, but yes. I agree, Glover. I think Molten Core is probably... I mean, if we're being fair, right? It was Blizzard's first foray into 40-man raiding. So, they didn't... And if I remember the history of it, the The development of Molten Core was very quick too. So, even though it's a classic raid, it's definitely one that could use a little extra something. Yep, you see, Glover, the original Blizzard team scrapped it together in 1 week. That's why there's not like tons of decoration. It seems very simple. I think it's because it was always meant to be simple. Exactly, Glover. And BWL, in my opinion, actually feels like the first real raid. Yeah, as far as scale, the way the bosses come out and stuff. Also, BWL is also my favorite raid. I like Naxx. Don't like AQ40 that much. I think the jury's still out, in my opinion, for Kara 40. I'd have to do it more to actually have a good opinion on it. But I like BWL. It's to the point. It has a good variety. I know nowadays a lot of it's really obviated by like modern strategies and stuff, but as far as how it's set up, I like it. BWL has 3 bosses that are loot pinatas, and BWL was arguably the raid that they made the most mistakes in creating. Well, like, I'm not looking at it from like the meta perspective of like how difficult it is. What I'm looking at it from is like the intended game design of it. Like, obviously, I don't think Blizzard wanted to make bosses that were loot pinatas. I think the difference between Ebon Rock and Flame Gore, that's a little uninspired. But all the other encounters I really like. Oh yeah, Justad, your first epic in a raid will always have a special spot in your heart, of course. I'm trying to think what my first epic in raid was. I think it was my mage on classic. I'm thinking about classic now because I can't remember TBC, original TBC, but the first epic I got in raid was the mage bracers, I think, and it was just off trash. Oh, my fish got away because I don't have the... That's right, the Aqua Dynamic fish attractors only last 5 minutes. I like how I put down a fishing boat only to be in my way the whole time. The epic fist weapon that looks like bear paws on my rogue. Oh, what is that? That's like... yeah, is that from... I think you can get one of those from Oni, I think. I can't remember the name of it. Razorgore being a boss when you enter Suppression Room, the 3 dragons. Also, BWL made a reason for rogues to go to raid. Can I also say that? Because guess what? If you have no rogues, I don't know how you're doing Suppression Room. You need at least one. Ooh, we caught 2 elemental water. Oh, this is good. Iskanders. Yep, that's exactly what it is. I'm pretty sure that is, yeah. I don't think I've ever got them. I got the ones that turn you into a tiger from ZG on Vrograg once upon a time. A long time ago. When I'm done with this lore, I have to remember to transmute my other globe of water. I love getting elemental water. That's great. More frost protection potions for me. Oh, I have some exciting news in the world of icons. Because I've been asking the team and community for feedback, I've I had a discussion with Dane, one of the actual Turtle Wow artists, not a hack like me. I like let him know some of the changes I was making. I'm like, yeah, the community didn't like, I put in that purple mushroom you made, and I made that into the ghost mushroom. He's like, oh, you needed a ghost mushroom? I totally wanted to facepalm because I'm like, I made a huge spreadsheet so you could see the stuff I needed. And then he's like, hold on, I'll make a ghost mushroom. And so we have a new ghost mushroom that I'm really excited about. It looks really good. It's brand new art. I agree, Lorazzi, to a certain extent. I think like the way that I would do that to make it immersive is in the game you have a similar phenomenon as you would have if you're doing real fishing, which is you have bycatch. It's mostly referred to in like commercial fishing, but when you are trying to fish for something and you catch something else that you don't want, that's called bycatch. And a lot of times you can use bycatch for other purposes. You can use it to create more bait, or you can kind of blender it all together and make chum to attract certain fish. Those are two things you can do with bycatch. Like, WoW has bycatch. Like, what am I going to do with glossy mitefish, or these summer bass, or this rock scale cod? That to me is bycatch. So I thought it would be really cool is if you could take that and then do something like make a chum bucket, and then you could like target it on the water to create a school of fish. Blessed, I had a really funny discussion about the banana bread icon. Like, I'm American, obviously, and I think I was discussing with, it was Dane on the art team, and he's like, so what's up with the banana bread? And I'm like, because that was made by Legal, who's helping out. And wherever Legal's from, I think they do banana bread more as like a cake, which is why it's round. And Dane and I come from regions where banana bread is usually like a loaf. So that subverted some of that expectation, which I thought was kind of funny. But there is a small adjustment coming to banana bread. It's very orange. It's very saturated orange, so I think we're going to tune that down a little bit. Give me a second. I can, I am done this lore. I don't think I'm going to catch anything now. Yep. Although I did, even though it's summerfish, I did get a night fin. All right. Let me see if I can bring this up. All right. It'll be over here. So this is what I'm going to be doing with the banana bread. Oh wait, do I have to make a new tab? Sorry, I know it's not perfect size, but so banana bread is a lot more orange than this, so it's getting tuned to like more of an orange color. This was I had some revisions. This likely is going to be what I'm going to be submitting for... Oh, why didn't you do it that time? Oh, right. This is going to be one of the two melons. I sharpened it up a little bit. It was really hazy before. The pumpkins, the gardening pumpkins. I'm going to be submitting that. Ah, here it is. This is the newly designed ghost mushroom. It looks like a ghost mushroom. What more could you ask for? I love that. That's great. It's beautiful. I didn't like how some of the vial of innocent blood came out, because it was like a more photorealistic skull over like a pre-existing, more vanilla-looking asset. So I made this for like a vial of blood. What else we have? Lucidity potion and elixir of the sages. Lucidity potion shares with Cat's Eye elixir, so I just changed the color of its stopper. And this is going to be the lesser... Winterfall Firewater shares with lesser agility elixir. I think it's one of the early ones. So I'm just changing that recipe to look like this. And oh right, here's a scroll variant. You may know this already, but scrolls, strength and agility have the same icon. Spirit and intellect have the same icon, and armor and stamina have the same icon for scrolls. So I recolored 3 of them to give them options so they actually look different. It's the other one for that's stamina armor, and then this will be interspirit. I think it'll be spirit in the end, but. And do I have that somewhere? Let's see if I can get that up. And probably the one I'm most excited about, but only because I've been working on it for so long. Turtle, wow. Health stones. No, health stone? There it is, okay. Candor. Thank you for the... Sorry, I can't see it. The follow on Twitch, thank you. So here's... All the health stones look identical. Now, if you've played Warlock, you know that for each... Like you'll see on each one of them, there's 3 different greater health stones. There's 3 different health stones. All the way down. For each rank of Healthstone, there's 3 different versions. And that's because they are built off of how many ranks of Master Conjurer you have. There's 2 available ranks, so one of the versions is for 0 ranks, one's for 1, and one's for 2. So the reason I bring this up is because I reached out to the Warlock community on Discord probably a couple months ago. I wanted to shoot some ideas and like how... If they were interested in having some way of visually being able to tell the difference between the health stones, it's not that huge of an issue, but I've seen it come up where, you know, you want to maybe eat your weaker health stone earlier on in like a raid or an encounter, and you want to keep your bigger one for later, or vice versa. Oh, Drew, I can do that. I gotta show off the Hellstone. So this is what this is the icon for. Where's that gonna go? Yeah, go here, here. So this is what a normal Hellstone looks like. This is what they all look like. All right, keep that in your head. So the conception I have is this is what it's going to look like from now on. If you have 2 ranks of Master Conjurer. If you have 1 rank of Master Conjurer, you see how the yellow goes away a little bit, the little yellow chunks? And then if you have 0 ranks in Master Conjurer, looks like that. So, most of the feedback I've gotten from the Warlock community has been pretty positive about this. It's not a gigantic change, but I thought it would be something fun and nice for them to enjoy. Still keeps the vanilla look and feel, but at least gives some way of identifying what Hellstones you have. Just add, I don't... Truth be told, I think the team... I don't think they've said anything public about it. My read on it is that Class Council, I think, was pretty stressful for the team, and there were a lot of leaks, and it kind of left a bad taste in their mouth, which is really upsetting for me because it was the team giving the community an olive branch to be like, hey, we're designing this. We'd like to hear from members of the community, which then in turn, people in the community said, oh, cool, an olive branch. Let me just stomp on that. So I was very frustrated because there was a lot of negativity from people in the community that were in Class Council, and there were a lot of leaks, like I said. So I don't think the team's is as interested in doing another Class Council. I think there's going to be new class changes, but I do not think there's going to be much of a functional Class Council. Yeah, no, Drew, I'm with you too. And yeah, that's why it was so frustrating for me, because they trusted us. I was on there. Drew was on there. I think even Lil Karen was for a period of time. Murag was. And then some bad apples ruined it. It's very frustrating. And Drew, since you requested it, I'll take a look if I can get those. I have so many different versions of spices. So there's, everyone knows when you do cooking, you have mild spices, hot spices, and soothing spices. They look identical. I have a number of ways I'm trying to differentiate them. Some of them have come out poorly. Some of them have been okay. This is probably the most basic and simple one I'm probably going to lean toward just because it's going to be the less visually upsetting. This would be hot spices. So I don't have the... Oh, do I have the base? I do have the base. Hold on. This is base. So then this would be... Hot spices? Where'd you go? There. So it's a lot more red. And then I'm probably going to change the green on this, but this would be soothing spices. Also note, you see the little crumbs coming out? I changed the colors of those, just so it looks more like a different type of spice. I had some other weird ones I put out there, like maybe this for soothing spices, or this one. I probably shouldn't use this one. This one actually says spice on it. Both of those ones were just like weird art assets I found somewhere else that I just shamelessly stole and shrunk down and then changed a little bit. So that's where I've been at with all of the icons. One other thing to keep in mind is I am also trying to, if you've done alchemy or you are a poison maker rogue, all rogues make poisons, you're aware of the phenomenon of having empty vials, leaded vials, crystal vials, and imbued vials all have the same icon. And alchemists regularly want, I think, all of them for different things in their bags. So it's a little tough. So these aren't art assets I made. These are ones that just exist in game and are like barely ever used. So probably going to keep the crystal vial the way it is. That's what I would suggest. And I have some of these. I don't know which one's going to be which. I think this might be imbued, maybe. This could be for empty vial, and then leaded vial could be, I don't know, this or this. But there's like those just exist. I don't have to make those. They're just empty vials. Why they had to use the same one for all different versions of vials, I'll never know. Also, I'm still trying to work on some way to do elemental earth, and I am not happy with anything I've done. So stay tuned on that one. That's most of what I've been working on. Oh, I didn't show up this one. Sheen of Zanza and Elixir of the Sages have the same icon. Planning on making this Elixir of the Sages. Also, probably shouldn't use Elixir of the Sages if you see it. It doesn't stack with stuff, so just be aware. Alright, that's it for the icon update. I promise, no more icon chat. Oh, someone walked up and hugged me while I was AFK. Can leaded vials have a warning label due to the lead? No, Bless. Like, actually, leaded glass is... It's not great, but you can totally use leaded glass for stuff. Elemental Earth could have darker earthly colors and coarser ridges. Candor, I've probably made 7 different drafts. Part of it is, like, I'll shop it around with people, see what they think. At one point, I made what looked like a turd with green glow behind it. That's not great. I'm tempted to want to get something different entirely, but Elemental Earth is very important. I don't want to change it too much. I could also just change Iron Ore to look different as well, which probably would be the simpler solution. Anyway, so we did do a little fishing here. Let me put back on my weapons. Oh, what's this? A locked chest? Locked no more. Is there a chance the Moam wipe was just DC's? There's a chance, but I don't think that's what happened, Glover. Based on me talking... Well, no, I have no way of proving that that's not true. It would have been... if all of those people live in the same region, the only way that could happen is if, like, all those people live in the same region and their ISP crap the bed at the same time. Which, by the way, can happen. I don't know if there's a way of determining that. If that was true, however, the tank would have died first. And I believe the notes from Hard Chores that when I was scanning through what they were saying about it, the tank died last. So either the tank was either living in a different region or it wasn't a DC. So I'm not, if that's how that went down. That and put on the Hakari axe. Okay. We're gonna try to get into the Barkskin area. They have a pond in there I can get into. If you could only save one, who would you save, Rograg or Rexana? I would probably save Rograg. The reason being is that the RP around Rexana is that she's trying to regain her honor by doing her journey. And I think character-wise, she's a lot more okay with dying. Vrograg as a character and as, like, his actual RP, he's very involved with a lot of people in Azeroth, and so there's a lot of people that depend on him the way he sees it. So I think it's one of those situations where I'm like, no, I think Vrograg would choose to live if he had a choice. Okay, I'm just trying to get in here. The cave should be around the corner here. Oh, hello, Florale. Ricky Kings, I'll tell you what's going on today. I'm doing some hydro fishing tests. I want to see if the fishing is better, different, whatever, than it is under Nordrassil. We did a little pond out there. Also, we looked at the new teaser trailer for the new content coming up with the patch for the Molten Core adjustments, bosses, all that stuff. Could you imagine not being a rogue? Just walking through stuff, just ignoring. No. I gotta pickpocket someone. I still have my vanish up, so. Alright, I think. Yep, the Barkskin Fisher area is this way. Thank you, Drew. Yes, everyone do what Drew tells you. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to like the stream. I'm so bad at promoting myself. I love when you're a rogue and, like, oh, clearly they sense you, like they think you're there, and then they're like, ah, it's just a breeze, and then you pickpocket them. By the way, if you ever want the Barkskin Fisher, the actual rod that I have, where is it? Fishing rod. Why am I not seeing it? There it is. If you want this, it has plus 30 fishing. There is a rare spawn elite who shows up here. If you kill him, 100% chance to drop it. That's where you get it from. I was going to try fishing here a little bit, though. Yes, that, you know what, Drew? Nothing better captures the rogue experience than saying, man, I love being a rogue. Uh-oh. That is exactly the rogue experience. Okay, I'll put that back. You don't have rep with them? So, Ricky, these guys, the Barkskin, they're a different tribe. It doesn't hurt your Timbermaw rep to kill these guys, so you're good there. Okay. So, the fishing zone is Barkskin Village, so it does have its own ID, so that might mean different fishing tables here. Not a great start. I just hope they fish the. I hope to fish. I hope they fix the fishing boats. Even before they were just free to cast whenever you want. I like using fishing boats because I don't have to keep applying aquadynamic fish attractors. I could put a fishing boat out and then just use night crawlers or flesh-eating worms. Also, if you don't know, flesh-eating worms give 70. 75 rather than 50. They come mostly from little worms that spawn out of dead ghouls. If you know about that grave, the Grave Moss farm in the graveyard of Duskwood, you can get them there. So I would go there to farm grave moss, but also get flesh-eating worms. There's a couple other mobs that drop them, but a lot of people think they're useless. I mean, they are if you don't do fishing. They're usually on the auction house for cheap, though. Cheaper than flesh-eating worms, which I find funny. Okay, we're selling Dark Claw Lobster. Interesting. Huh. If I use the flesh-eating worm, I lose 25, which puts me at 415. Oh, I'd be very close. If I had my fishing gloves on, I would be like just under 420. Do you reckon Turtle Wow will add new races? It's possible, but I don't see it on the horizon. If they added new races, it would so you have to remember the long arc of Turtle Wow. Early on in the game, before they had people that could reliably make new models, that could tweak animations, stuff like that, they relied on copy pasting other models and stuff, and they still do that to a large extent still. That being said, the ones that I think they would be lore friendly to add would be something like ogres, I think is a big one. Could possibly be Worgen. The thing is, though, is that the models that are good to make those for players don't have like the full suite of customizations and animations that I feel like the Turtle team would at least want if someone was able to play them. As I even think in some cases the goblins had to be scaled back or like their polygons changed a little bit. I might be wrong about that, but I am not Candor. I definitely work with the team. So like it is a little confusing for people who don't know my content much, but I do news for the community. The news that I do on my channel, my streams, I have 100% creative control on that. I do contract work for the team for to make their Turtle Wow news radio broadcasts. That I do. They do have final editorial control on that. But as doing my journalist stuff, I have access to the dev server. Their inner work chats. I don't have full access, but I can ask them questions that come up from the community. I can bring up any ethical issues that I might have spotted or come across. But I generally try to keep the team at arm's length so I can continue doing my work as a unofficial ombudsman for the team. I think if there's any quote unquote team status I have, it would be that I'm the team ombudsman. Checking their work, making sure they're ethically sound, they're doing good things for the quote unquote consumers or players. I know I have fishing gloves. Where are my fishing gloves? Is it these? Yeah. +2 fishing. I think that's all I have for fishing, though. I really need that Undercity bucket hat. That would actually finish this out for me. Alright, so if I do flesh-eating worm... that puts my fishing at... oh, wait, did I not pick... I didn't grab my gloves. It's so funny how close I am to 420 now. It was... oh, I did pick them up. Oops. There it is. Oh, put that back. What are you doing? I wish I was responsible for server crashes. I would do nefarious things. Ricky, I think, so generally with any sort of, if you look at it like a journalist, you have, and in most media, you have people that produce material to be broadcast or shared, and then you have editors. Those are usually the people that are above you that will say to change stuff or will edit it themselves. And then you have executive producer kind of thing. So in the world of journalism, you can be a reporter, right? You're a producer, you're producing the news. You have an editor who can give you assignments or take your work and change it or tell you to fix something. And then generally you have an editor-in-chief who is the final yes-no on a lot of decisions. Even within those structures, though, you have ethics watchdogs. You have people that will look at stuff and be like, hey, you said so-and-so about a thing. Can I see your sources on that? Or, haven't got any... maybe all I need is 412 fishing. I do have to get a bucket hat. Anyway, Ricky Kings, to answer your question, the person largely in charge of the radio is Dan. If you've listened to some of the podcast shows I did, Dan's on a lot of those. He has a great radio voice. He does a lot of other work too, but he's the one who will be assigning work or approving or disproving things that appear on the radio. So I would say Dan's in charge in the radio. You can't see Turtle adding a new class, but if you did, do you think it would work out? I mean, anything's possible. I would be a little circumspect about it. Okay, so we did have a failed catch. Huh, interesting. There's definitely a world where it could work out. The Turtle team by and large, really only seems interested in adding things that are early lore friendly. So, you know, what do I think that could be? I think by and large most class fantasy from Warcraft 2 and 3 are represented pretty well with the class structure we have. The only things that might be missing would be something like some of the more racially specific versions of classes. So like a Blade Master doesn't exactly exist perfectly for rogue or warrior. You can kind of get close, or like a Shadow Hunter there isn't like a good facsimile of that. So yeah, but I don't know what direction they could go, if I'm being honest. I think it would work out if they did, because they would probably have a good grounded lore reason for it. I just don't know what it would be. You feel Worgen monks were very in line with classic lore? Yeah, like, well, you know, Drew, if I'm being honest, that's kind of more what I lean into when I talk about... everyone knows I'm in full support of every class race combination having a class racial, not just priest and shamans. I really think that's an untapped well, and it could allow for things that don't exist in the game. So rather than making new classes, I think one could argue that the way a troll is a mage is a lot different than the way a high elf is a mage. And if you could lean into that, you can have essentially class expansion without having class expansion. A classic have your cake and eat it too situation. Yeah, I could see Necromancer too, Lizzie Babs, but it's bad enough that there's already warlocks running around, which is, by the lore, pretty immersion breaking. Because y'all just decide to run around with your demons out. Now, a lazy mage who takes a shortcut, I mean, that's a tale as old as time. But give me a racial spell every 30 levels. I mean, yeah, I mean, you can use a light touch with everyone having a class racial. I think that's probably the better thing to do at first. But I mean, even for warriors, right? You can't sit there and look at me and tell, like, yeah, you know what? A gnome warrior should have the exact same toolkit and abilities as a Tauren warrior. What? What are you talking about? No. Hello, Tholinar. Hope you're doing well. Interesting. I've only gotten one failed catch here. Does anybody know how much does the Undercity bucket hat give you? Is it like a low number? Is it like 2 or something small? And yes, Ricky, I think that is part of it too. We don't want it to be like Ascension WoW, where anyone can be anything. Also, to a certain extent, everything's pay to win. At least when I last played Ascension, that's mostly what it was. Oh, but I gotta remember to do my other transmute. So far, fishing here's been okay. 3 stone scale. Dark Claw's on point. Yeah, most of this seems okay. Doesn't seem that different. It's within like a degree of derivation. Yeah, you know, I mean, I've talked about this before, Ricky, where the concept of Classic Plus is really a spectrum where, like, at the most, conservative end, you have, like, just minor class tweaks. You know, like, early Turtle WoW would be much closer to that. And then you can have also Classic Plus be something more like what Epoch's trying, or, you know, some stuff in Ascension. Also, that was 2 back-to-back double catches of Stone Scale Eel. I think I'm liking it here. A lot of people do ask, like, hey, are you going to play Epoch? My answer's been the same pretty much the whole time, which is, yep, 6 months after it launches. I honestly hope Epoch does well. There's a number of reasons why, but primarily what I would like is for there to be a larger ecosystem of private server. I know it might have a negative effect on Turtle WoW in some respects. You know, speaking for myself though, I started playing on the server when, like, having 1K was, like, crazy. I clearly was okay to play back then. You know, I'm okay with that too. It's not like I want everyone to just vanish and go away. No, that's not it. What I want is for people to have options and to play the game they want to play. And from a consumer point of view, right, someone who plays the games, competition's good. It genuinely is good in this circumstance. It makes more things for us to do. Makes more engaging content for us to enjoy. Because, you know, if there's more than a couple really popular private servers, then you have stuff like, hey, what can we do to make the player's experience better, you know? In the end, the player ends up winning. Well, I mean, you say that true, but I mean, there are people that just want to try something like Drew. I'm sure you don't have any huge issue with Garth. I know Garth is trying Epoch. Garth's a nice guy. So, you know, I think there's a large part of the crowd that are just, you know, fresh chasers and are just looking for the shiny latest thing. And again, I don't really jive with those people that well, but, like, they're members of the community too, even if they're ephemeral. And everyone's looking for different stuff, so it's okay. Ricky says, in my opinion, WoW is about lore, not rating. I think the lore puts things in context, certainly. I think WoW is about community. I've said that in so many different ways. However, within that, I think a mutual understanding of the lore is needed. Man, more globes of water. Let's go. Yeah, bless. I mean, Space Station 13, from what little I know about their community, because I've looked into it in the past. I thought about maybe playing it, but I'm like, eh. It sort of makes a situation where everything's very spread out, and I think most people can find what they're looking for, which I think is good. But sometimes when things are too spread out, you can't get the resources to do ambitious things. Like, well, if I use your Space Station 13 example, one of the big things that holds back Space Station 13, my understanding, is that it uses a very ancient engine, a really crappy client, and it's really hard for new players to get in. if a bunch of people played on one server, right, or one style, that could engender a situation where those people could take those resources and reinvest it into making a better client, kind of like what Turtle's done to some extent with the Unreal Azeroth. So there's good and bad parts about having stuff get too popular. But also, a lot of that's apples to oranges, because Space Station 13 is a very different game. WoW was built off lore-wise. Yeah, oh yeah, no, absolutely, Ricky, I get you. What I'm most interested in is Telebim, actually, because they're a much smaller community than Nordinar, and I don't know what the doom level is over there for Epoch, but I think most of the people that are on Telebim are there because they like it at this point. So I'd be interested, just purely curiosity. I'd be interested to see how Epoch release affects them. They changed their mind about GDKP, Raukangren? Or sorry, Tholinar saying that. Oh, the last I heard was that they're banning GDKP, which it's such a good thing that Turtle made that a thing, because now when other new private servers look around, like, well, what did Turtle do that was successful? Huh, they made this choice. If they've gone back on it, I think that's ill-advised in my opinion, but exactly, Glover, exactly. There's only been one big L the private server community has taken recently, and it is Turtle WoW's fault, and I blame all of you and myself. And that's Shagu feeling like he can't play on Turtle WoW anymore. That's the big L. It's like the nicest person in the community. People were crappy to him, and he's like, I can't play on Turtle WoW anymore. Makes me very sad. Yep, exactly, Blessed, yeah. Also, I want to share a small story about Shagu. So, you know, I was encouraging people to blow up Shagu's DMs and tell him thank you for all the work they did, or like give him a donation or something, right? Because, you know, Shagu deserves it, right? You know, and so Shagu got back to me and he's like, oh, it was really nice, because that's the kind of thing Shagu would do, right? And he's like, hey, you know, I have like a separate Discord where all the add-on developers are. You know, you should go in there, because like I know you have a good head on your shoulders. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I checked it out, right? And it's like add-on developers from all over the place, not just Turtle WoW. But I start gabbing it up in there, right? And of course, I mentioned like, yeah, it's really a bummer, you know, Shagu isn't playing on Turtle WoW anymore. Like he's taking a step back a little bit from active engagement and development. His own Discord didn't know this. So there was a second wave of people thanking Shagu in his own Discord. To anyone in my private Turtle WoW news Discord, when I quit, I will tell you. I guarantee you're not going to have to find out from someone else. Yeah, I mean, it sucks that Shagu doesn't play on Turtle anymore. It is a bummer. Everyone knows I'm toxically positive, so I'm looking for what good can come out of this. And the good that we can take out of this is a reminder that we can always be nicer to one another. We can rethink and readdress how we talk to people and interact in the community, and try to be respectful whenever possible, because you don't know who's on the other side. You don't know what's going on with them, especially people that just give, like add-on developers who don't charge for their add-ons. Like, why ever be mean? And even if you're not the kind of person who would ever be mean to someone like that, when you see it happen, call it out. Call it out and just say, hey, cut the crap. Like, what are you doing? Do you want this person to leave? You should be the one who should leave. Anyway. Yeah, Drew. Swivzer, it wasn't someone. It was someone's. And over the long time that Shagu has been working on PFUI, he's been a member of like the gameplay community and of like the active add-on like channels and Discord of Turtle WoW. Essentially what kept happening was people would say like really crappy things like, Shagu, fix your add-on. Or like, Shagu, your add-on's crap, you know, and would just say stuff like that. And it got to a point where Shagu's like, all right, I think I'm done. You know, like, that's what happened. So it wasn't any one person. But again, anyone could see that happening, because almost all of these were like happening in public channels. So like when you see that, like, call it out. It's okay. And I almost guarantee you in almost every case, you know, the Turtle team, Turtle helpers, they're going to have your back if you're calling out someone being mean to someone. Just Add Water says, am I the only one who thinks Alterac Valley is my favorite part of the game? I would say I find Alterac Valley to be very complex as someone who doesn't PvP, right? So I look at that and go like, there's a lot of things going on. There's a whole bunch of like cryptic words people are saying, and you can get yelled at for not doing the right thing. That being said, though, Rao Kangren, I'll do that in a second. That being said, if you understand how Alterac Valley works, I could see that being one of the most enjoyable parts of the game. I could absolutely see it. I think get this. Rao Kangren cashed in a channel reward point to stretch. I will stretch. Thank you. AV is only enjoyable if you roll Horde. So I kind of respect the fact that the initial development team, the Blizzard team, they had an idea of mixing PvE and PvP objectives. And I know for a lot of the early WoW development, they kept trying that. I see what they were going for. The problem with Alterac Valley is that there are too many people who do it just to get XYZ thing, gear, rep, and then they're done with it. So anytime the reward structure to do an activity involves not participating in the activity, you have a bad situation. Yash, I'm sorry there were people in your community that were like that. And by the way, it's the same thing for the Turtle team. I get to see the behind the scenes stuff as it's going on. There are people that say insane stuff to the team. Absolutely deranged stuff that, like, I feel embarrassed to be part of the community, knowing there's people in the community that say that things to people that sometimes they're just volunteers. Sometimes, yeah, they're like a pseudo paid staff where they like get paid in turtle tokens or stuff. And then there's, there's people who like people like Torta, who, on top of having to deal with the difficulty of being a woman in the gaming space, also has to deal with unrelenting harassment about anything. Even my stuff, where like I think that I'm pretty low key about things. I don't try to get very confrontational. I still get people all over me about stuff. I'm like, damn. Yes, Raukangren. Yes, flesh-eating lures. The way to go. Yeah. And Yash, it does take a different type of person, I think, genuinely, to deal with that kind of harassment. Sometimes the people on the team, they're okay. And sometimes it really gets to them. You have to remember that they're humans. And I'm not the only person that's passionate about the Turtle Project, right? I love the community here, but I also like the project. And so when someone's like negative or crappy to you about a free-to-play server that you've poured your heart into, it's really hard to go like, he's just an internet jerk. It's tough. It really is. Yeah, Tholanor. And you know what? Part of that was her maintaining her own mental health. Some of the probably they actually are doing work back there, but in a lot of the more colloquial or like more general chats that I see, a lot of times it's team members just blowing off steam and supporting each other. It's like, XYZ did this, I feel like crap now. And then someone saying like, hey, it's okay. They're just being an idiot. So I think in some respects, that's a lot of times why the team is oftentimes so defensive of one another, because you build sort of like an emotional support network. There are some people that are a lot better. Like Akalix is ideal for the job that he's doing, because he does put himself out there and he's okay dealing with the internet humor, that kind of stuff. I know he doesn't like it, and when it goes over a line, he'll put a stop to it. On that same note, though, like, he doesn't... He can deal with it a lot better than a lot of other people. Also, not to have all of you put on your tinfoil hats, I have it on good authority that Torta plays. You don't know it's Torta, but Torta plays. So she's still able to enjoy her community. Probably not as much as she would like to, but she is floating out there in the ether. You see, like, some random person. Maybe that's a good way of putting it. Anyone you see in the world could be Torta. Anyone could be Torta, guys. Rogeg did a hit piece on us again. The thing is, Tholanor, that if I ever do a hit piece on them, they'll know it's coming because I'm going to tell them. And they would have to mess up pretty bad at this point. I'm not saying they're infallible, right? They make mistakes because they're human. But a lot of times the difficulty with stuff like that, if you try to do ethical reporting, is you need to be able to distinguish what's ignorance and what's malice. 9 times out of 10, it's ignorance. Or just genuine mistakes, you know? Exactly, Yash. Yeah, we do. Because, listen, even if, tomorrow I had documented, irrefutable evidence that every night Torta goes out and just goes on a murdering rampage in real life. She's a terrible person. She burns puppies. Right? I would probably have to say something about that. But how much have you enjoyed Turtle Wow? You know, it comes down to one of those other situations where, has your interaction been bad? You know? Now, I don't want to get into a space where I'm, defending, actors or musicians who do crazy stuff, and I'm like, well, that's just them. Separate the art from the artist. No, I don't necessarily think that's always the right way to go. But it's a very difficult space to be in if you're running a community. I think when you run a community, it's a different thing than just being an artist, you know? So, yeah, if that was Torta, I would run the hit piece, and I'd be like, do with that knowledge what you will. If I had reason to believe that really was Torta, I'd be like, yeah, I'm probably going to stop playing Turtle. It would suck, but, I think people deserve to know, generally, and especially in the community sense, what community leaders hold valuable. Because it's a reflection, because your participation in a community reflects, in some sense, what you hold valuable. "10 push-ups for the Lord's glory." Samuel, I will do 10 push-ups for the Lord's glory. I will. After this lore runs out. Also, Route Cankern, I think you also cashed in a hydrate, which reminds me, I need to get my water bottle, which isn't here. That's not good. Muckraker Orc. People don't use that term enough. And now everything's just like drama YouTuber, or that kind of stuff. Muckraker is an old term for like a drama farmer, essentially. Or someone who does everything in their power just to make someone look bad. It is. The best thing about Muckraker is when you say it, you know what it is. Even though, it's not someone who's literally raking muck, it is someone who just digs up filth, That comes from late 1800s, early 1900s American journalism. You'll never guess from where. Yeah, from people who were doing that all the time. The phenomenon of journalism being undercut by corporate interests is not a new phenomenon in anywhere in the world, really. Certainly not in America. There's a whole period called the Yellow Journalism era, which... current American media landscape, it's been Yellow Journalism 2, Electric Boogaloo. There are some good outlets out there. There are. It's very difficult in this day and age because your publisher, in many senses, is someone like YouTube. Good luck doing a story critical about YouTube if you have that much documents. And then you still have advertisers no matter what, especially if you have staff. Can't say anything against the advertisers. That's why subscription-based model for journalism is honestly the best way to go. So I have people like Channel 5 News with Mark Callahan? Is that his name? Anyway, check out Channel 5 News. It does very... every journalist always is going to have their own bias, but he does a good job of getting people to speak about issues and giving thoughtful analysis of it. It's not black. I was on fire explaining stuff. Rock King, that's all I do. That's all I enjoy in life is explaining stuff. It took me a decade to learn how to not mansplain to my wife. Because I love explaining so much. I'm like, honey, listen, part of this is just my personality. You can't, separate the art from the artist here. All right, I'm just gonna take a quick break. I'm gonna go grab some water, and then, wait, who was that again? It said, do push-ups for the Lord. I just thought that was funny. Samuel 2570. I can't really do them on camera, but I'll do them. Hey, Samuel, I'm doing them right now. Woo! Fit Greg, that's right. We're doing it. Whew, that feels good. Get the blood pumping a little bit, Oh, my bags are getting a little full here. Got a lot of junk I've caught. Oh, make sure. Is the bark skin fisher back? No, he's not here. No, we're gonna sit. Okay. Wise discernment says Squirtle is greater than Bulbasaur. Listen, I'm not like a Charmander enjoyer where I get upset about that kind of stuff. Bulbasaur is way more chill than that. Bulbasaur's like, all right, man, you do you. Speaking of Bulbasaur, thank you, by the way. That was a perfect segue. I have something I got recently that I'm very excited to show off. If you've watched my stream and stuff, I talk a lot about tabletop role-playing games. I play them a lot. And I found on Etsy, someone was selling resin polyhedral dice that had little Bulbasaurs in them. I don't know if you can see that well. You could probably tell there's oop. Sorry, the camera's not doing a good job, but you can see there's a little guy in there. Each one of them has a little Bulbasaur. Blessed, I'm not gonna say they're weighted towards one side. It's not too bad, but I've played enough tabletop. I can tell when my dice is a little weighted. Slowpoke. Slowpoke's pretty cool. I kind of like Slowpoke. I like Slowpoke. He just looks like a goofy guy, and he has some of the funniest internet memes. It was a long time ago, but I used to remember seeing on forums when someone would post about something that just happened, but they were like late. Someone would you'd get bombarded with Slowpoke images. And then other times you could just make a post that was just a joke. So it could be like July and you could be like, "Hey everyone, Happy New Year's." And then you post a Slowpoke. Rao Kangren says, is she that much into womanese? No. So I've been married for a long time, and I think the concept, understanding, let me try to formulate my thoughts here. So I am always fascinated by the human experience, what life is like for different people, what that is like. And so for as long as I've known Murag, which is it's closer to 20 years at this point, how long I've known her. Actually, hold on. No, it's over 20. I've known her for over 25 years at this point. That's crazy. But I always had conversations with her about, because we have similar interests. I'll be like, so what's that experience like as a woman, And that's always been sort of an overriding sort of theme to a lot of our discussions over time. And when in the cultural zeitgeist, the term mansplaining came in vogue, I asked her, but I'm like what is that exactly, and she's like, oh yeah, it happens to women all the time. And I'm like, huh? And she, we had mutual friends. She's like, do you remember when so and so tried to tell me this thing? I'm like, yeah. She's like, I told him I knew all that stuff, but he felt it necessary to explain something to me that I knew more than him about. It is a real phenomenon. I think the term is a little... It's something that also happens to men, too. But I think is, from my understanding, is very disempowering for women. A really good example of it happened at a tabletop convention I went to this spring. We were just shooting the breeze with someone. There was an older guy who we were chatting with, and he has a son who we actually played with a little bit earlier in the day. And Murag is a trained oboist. And this guy, who is not a trained musician, tried to tell Murag she was wrong about stuff about the oboe. And see, here's where the rub comes in. If she says, shut up, you're wrong, she comes off as a bitch. If she just sits there and has to listen to it, it's just annoying. There's not really a good response in at least American Western gender roles for that kind of a situation. But it was a very good example of it. So Rao Kangaroo is like, is she that into womanese? I probably end up saying it more jokingly than probably she does. But it's usually me going is that mansplaining? And yes, Rao Kangaroo, I got a wild essence of water. Let's go. Oh, geez, my... How long has my lure been out for? Tanaris has some good fishing of death. I love it out there. That's where I met the man, the myth, the legend, Rodfather. Oh. You know what? We should go, well... That's all the way on the other side of Hyjal. If you've been to the docks in Hyjal, you might see a new ghost NPC, which is Rodfather. Rodfather is a friend of the stream, someone I met by chance. Really cool player, really cool guy. He unfortunately had like I think sometime last year he had like a stroke, so he lost the ability to use like one side of his body. But he still wanted to be engaged with his community. He played with hard chores. So one thing you can do quite easily with one hand is fish. So he's been doing tons of fishing. He made like fishing alts. Not that I don't want to depress everyone right now, but Rodfather, I guess, has had some continuing health issues. And, word got around, in part because of me, but in part because of other people, some GMs, some people in the community who were aware of the situation, who thought that, like, if for whatever reason Rodfather needs to take a break, or maybe he can't play anymore, they thought that putting the Rodfather Ghost NPC at the docks would be a fitting monument and living memorial to the expert fisherman himself, Rodfather. So, let me know if you've seen it. It was pretty cool. Dude splating. Yep. Yeah, true, Yash. That is the explanation on that guy. I have shed many a manly tear when talking to that guy. Not because I'm sad, but because the guy is so nice and warm and generous despite everything. Like, it's not often you get that level of connection and tenderness through a game like WoW. So it really caught me off guard. But if you see Rodfather in the wild, or his other tunes, Amiga or Eelmiga, say hi, or just cast a line with him. Who doesn't like doing that? Oh, where did that go? There it is. I will say, got a stack of stone scale. I'm gonna have almost 20 elemental water, and essence of water, some firefin, even a couple blackmouth. Pretty good fishing. Pretty good fishing out here. I'm here for it. I remember Summer Bass does something. I don't remember what it does, though. Sorry, Raukangren. That's also... that was also one of the other reasons why, I think, the news about Shagu, coming like a week after, a lot of stuff happened with Rodfather. That's really why I'm like, everyone needs to be nice to people they meet in game. Just be nice. It's not hard, Hello /ignore. Hope you're doing well. Also, /ignore. I'm pretty sure you're over on Telebim, right? How are things over there? And I think it was a couple weeks ago. Telebim Alliance got their first meth kill. Wait, what is his name? Mephistroth? Mephistroth? I don't want to say meth, because if I say it too quickly, it sounds like meth. You stopped playing? Oh, okay. Well, good to see you, friend. Hope you've been doing well. Half of the population in South America leaving due to most of the same reason. Wait, what reason? Hold on, Yash. How far behind are you, Yash? You might need to refresh. I don't know what part of the conversation you're referring. Yeah, Lizzie Babs. I think I don't even know if Horde has done a full clear of Kara 40 on Telebim yet. Lorazia might know. Meth Eastroth. Yeah, that's how that is how God intended it to be pronounced. Also, one thing that is driving me nuts is that this smoke particle effect is very irregular. And it keeps messing with the light. What are you doing? Brograg, you're not casting. Stop. Oh, check this out, guys. I got a skin recently. This is for my little social event I've been running. So, because it's not like real RP, but like I pretend like I'm an agent from Nefarian. So I have a Blackrock orc skin. It's pretty cool. Got that for the sale. No, what are you doing? Brogag, no, wrong way. Maybe I can fish over there, or... I'll try over here. In real life, fish actually like stumps and stuff like this. I don't think it's going to change anything in game, but... I wish it did, though. I mean, that's actually not a great angle for me. Yeah, touching up some of the old skins would be nice. Really, Yash? I had tried to follow South America, but it was so big, so quick, and I don't speak the most common languages there, so it was really hard for me to keep tabs on things. Interesting. So you're saying that it was because of subpar GM service. Huh. I'll have to ask around about that, see what the story is. Oh, I can fish from here. Ooh, okay. What about this? Oh, sweet. I can be in the water and fish. Oh, also, one weird thing about the South America server, like, I was helping someone make videos over there, and someone, I keep forgetting, but someone from the South America team gave me a team member tag or like a GM tag or something. And so I regularly will get DMs from random people I've never met from the South America server. It's all in Spanish and it's asking for something. And I'm like, well, that's okay, Rao Kangren. I mean, I'm okay with there being ugly and or scary looking characters. Obviously, I'm more okay with that if I play Horde all the time, but... Well, here's the thing, Yash. I don't know how to do that. And I don't know if it's something I can remove myself. Alright, if you're in a Discord, right, and you don't have all the moderation privileges, can you remove a tag yourself? Or does an administrator have to remove a tag? So I'm pretty sure they'd have to remove the tag. They should make a beta troll skin, but they're too scared. Yeah, I don't know either, Ash. It happens infrequently enough that I keep forgetting to ask. But now that I'm hearing some word about, I mean, also, this cycle was already done on Telebim. It's personally what I'm probably going to assume is happening, where there's a huge influx of players chasing fresh, chasing whatever it is, right? And they get bored, they play another game, and then some people stick around. And then the some people that stick around are the people that become the seeds of the real community for that server. It could also maybe not happen like that. I don't know. There might be different ways that, you know, Spanish and Portuguese speaking countries look at the game. But, you know, I remember the dooming days of Telebim pretty well. And theirs is a story of continued dedication and success. I would even go as far as to say the best way to play Turtle if you're starting is probably on Telebim. Just because the server size and the community is so much more cozy and it just feels right. That's how I start. Like, the server size of Telebim was what Nordinar was when I first started. So maybe I'm seeing everything through rose-tinted goggles, but I'm just so invested on Vrograg, you know? Actually, hold on, wait. I wonder how invested I am. I just did my /played. Why did I do that? That's a lot of time. Yeah, MissCon, like I have absolutely no issue with it. Oh, guys, look, Rodfather. Sorry, I forgot I had Wim up. Let me fix that. I don't like having Wim up because if someone whispers me something out of pocket, that's not cool. Oh, Rodfather is after the Undercity fishing helmet. Lizzie Babs, I think you do know the way in, but for hardcore, it's very dangerous. I would imagine to get into Undercity for the helmet. Good luck. Good luck. Let me know your findings. I think little Karen might know the way in that is safer. You could try reaching out to them. You went through the back. But did you end up getting attacked? Also, where am I? Oh, there it is. Godspeed, Rodfather. Well, you know, that's just the thing, Yash. I think there's like, what I would say, there's like a healthy and an unhealthy amount of a population to have on a server. And I think Telebim is stable and is doing okay. So being popular or being too big isn't necessarily the goal, I would say, for a stable community. And I prefer stable communities. So not becoming huge and popular is probably better for the players of Telebim, not being like massive. Because Nordinar has a whole host of problems because there's so many people who play on it. And Telebim doesn't have to deal with that. But they have enough players to make it a nice community. So there's like good and bad parts. Yeah. I mean, there was a while where Telebim was unhealthily small, but they've been doing well for themselves. Their SNV 200's also been doing pretty well too, so I think their market's starting to get a lot healthier as well. What would a turtle and warming collab look like? I don't know. I've never actually played. I think I might have once upon a time played on warming, but it's been forever. I don't know. I think I don't know if those teams see eye to eye enough. I'd have to know more about the warming team and the warming community. Nordinar is not overpopulated if hardcore gets moved to its own layer. I think I'm starting to drink the Kool-Aid on why the team doesn't want to make a hardcore only zone. I think I'm starting to understand it. Sometimes the best solutions are not the simplest. Oh, okay. I got you, Yash. No, right. I need lures. I'm gonna run out of bag space soon. Oh no. Oh no, I'm gonna be fabulously wealthy. Hold on, wait. Classy, you were expecting IRL fishing from a cartoon of an orc fishing with a Bulbasaur behind it? You were thinking it was going to be IRL fishing? It is WoW. It is WoW. Hi, by the way. I have someone I need to get in touch with. I have actually been looking into every now and then, when I have some time, to do an IRL fishing stream. I still think a fishing stream's a bad idea if it's IRL, because I don't know how to stream when I'm like out of, if I have to interact with real people. I think I would like shrink up and die from embarrassment, be like, hi, I'm a streamer. I would just implode. Glover, I still disagree. I think it's okay to have hardcore people around playing in the same area. Drew said what I said, but less diplomatically. But yeah, that's likely how it would go down. But again, I don't know enough, and I'm more than happy to tell people when I don't know something. Drew, just because people do it doesn't mean it's gonna change how awkward it would be for me to like have to look someone dead in the eye while their family's swimming at a lake I'm fishing in and be like, I'm a streamer. Maybe that's my boomer. I don't know how to deal with that. That's probably I mean, like, I've seen live streams of people in real life. The thing is that in the back of my head, I'm like, that's so awkward and weird. I would hate every part of that. That's exactly because I've seen it happen before. That's exactly why I feel anxious about that. Classy, I'm doing great, man. If you're just dropping in randomly, this is Turtle Wow. It's a private server. I do news and information for the community here. So a lot of my YouTube videos are about stuff like that. I mostly stream Turtle Wow. Occasionally do other games. Come hang out for the vibes. All the music you hear is AI Slop-I generated. So you can enjoy that too. There'll be a lot of talking inside Turtle Wow stuff, but it's not all that. No, Drew, I'm sure, you know how, like, you know, I think when people get older, you start experiencing this more. But when you face resistance to do something, a lot of times that resistance is internal. And your brain will look for reasons not to do something. And I'm detecting that as maybe a reason not to do something. Because, like, it's something I want to do, but my brain's like, you know, come on. You don't want to be awkward and anxious like that. Come on. But I do need to. Someone from the team who knows like other streamers from other connections and stuff said, "Oh, I know a guy that like does IRL fishing streams. You can get in touch with them." I should follow up on that because, like, there's probably a lot of like rules and stuff I don't know about that I'd like to know. And also, I guess I use a phone to stream, right? But would I need like a lav mic? That's part of it where I'm like, do I need new hardware just to do this one thing? It's not crazy, right? But in general, I try to have decent productions for you guys. I'm not saying I'm top of the line, right? But if there's one pet peeve of mine, it's been when people stream WoW and it's dead silence and they're just playing WoW. I'm sure some people like that, but I can't imagine watching that for long. I find it so much more fun to interact with chat, to actually have some sort of activity or conceit to the stream, put a little bit of production value into what you're doing as far as like getting good sound quality, getting good fidelity on visuals. I think that stuff goes a long way. So that's kind of like the mentality I bring to anything I do when making content, even though I'm not like perfect, right? And I'm 90% of everything I've taught myself. When I think about doing an IRL fishing stream, I'm like, oh, there's so many things I need to learn and understand to like make it okay. Exactly. Yeah. Yash, Miscon, you get it. Where it's like, oh, cool, this person's playing this version of WoW, or playing, and you tune in and just like radio silence. There's no music, right? Or there's just in-game music. You don't know what's going on. And then every now and then it'll be like, hi stream lurker, welcome to chat. You'll get that once every 5 minutes. Who's that for? Yeah, Classy, I am. I'm gonna be if I actually go through with this, I still need to get my fishing license. But I guess you can, at least where I live, you can get them year round, so. Yeah, Drew. I think that might be the way. I could probably cajole Murog into being my camera person, or at least holding the phone. But a couple things. I'll probably need an external power source, because I imagine streaming for like an hour or two on a phone would probably drain all my battery. I have to make sure I have good signal, because I don't have like one of those backpacks where you like buy like a separate wireless internet thing. Like I'm not going that deep, right? But I do need to find a fishing location that's quiet, right? I don't want somewhere that has tons of people, because if you're fishing, generally that's not good, like just from the fishing point of view, but also because I don't want to have a bunch of random interactions, right? Although it would be fun. Yeah, so, Classy, I don't know, about where you live, but at least in the US, there might be an exception in different states, but, most states have a, fish and wildlife service of some type, and, part of their job is, like, tracking populations of certain wildlife, etc. And part of the way they get funding is they sell licenses for hunting and fishing. It's not like you have to like qualify to know how to fish. You just buy the license. And you can, I literally know 2 people who've gotten tickets from, fish and wildlife people. 'Cause they'll walk up and be like, "Oh, hey, how's it going? Yeah. Do you have a fishing license?" And then they're still funding fish and wildlife. Wait, Sonic, can you get down there? I've only... I know what you're talking about. I will say no more, but I know the cell phone signal's good there. I just didn't think you could get down to the river over there. Oh yeah, and Drew, I know for like game hunting, they have like other restrictions. There's like some states there's like lotteries to get like a deer hunting license. Again, much of that is in the service of, like, if you say, hey, everyone, you can have a $2 license to go hunt deer, and you don't control how many people are hunting deer, you can have a situation where your deer population collapses. Or conversely, if you want, you have too high of a deer population, you can, like, actually, like, pay people to hunt deer, right? So it works both ways, but usually it's in managing wildlife populations. Sonic, we'll have to chat about that later. Maybe logistically this is way easier than I thought it was. That would be crazy. Also, I've never... I don't know. I don't think I really should or could do any, like, overlay stuff from a phone stream? Not that I'd really need any. But Sonic, if that location works out, I should probably check what's catchable there in case there's anything they're not supposed to catch. And whatever is catchable, probably want to get the right bait for it. I do have a fishing rod stored at my sister's I can get. That would be a good time. Nowhere KC says, I have worked hard in the PvP server for 2 weeks. I don't get the idea of that realm. Can you explain a bit? The idea of Telebim, it's a PvP realm. So it's, in many senses, much like Nordinar, but it has all the PvP restrictions. Or enhancements, the way you look at it. So you can't do cross-faction grouping. And you are flagged except for areas that are sanctuaries. And some people like playing WoW that way, where there's still like the faction war is very alive and well. Sometimes I can't explain why people like things. I don't play there often. I don't like PvP, so that's, I would say, a big chunk of why I don't really play there often. Well, listen, we already found out what my next leveling challenge is going to be. The no UI challenge, where I have to play the entirety of the game with no UI. I can only turn on UI in towns to do keybinds and stuff and pick up quests. I think it would be really dumb, which is why I like it. Hey, Drew, take it easy, man. I'll see you around. Oh, there's a lot of carp? That's actually another thing. One of the other reasons I wanted to reach out to that guy is because I don't know for sure, like, on YouTube, what's the limitations. Like, if I catch a fish, like, I don't want to get, like, banned or something for animal cruelty, but I guess if I'm doing fishing, is it animal cruelty? I mean, yeah, I'm not exactly hugging the fish, but I at least would want to know like what the limitations are about that. But this seems a lot more doable, Sonic, knowing what I know now. Maybe. Yeah, nowhere, Casey. I don't know if I answered your question, but I'm not sure exactly. Like, you're asking what is the idea of the realm? I think it's just another Turtle WoW realm. That's a PvP server. I think that's the concept behind it. They do have bonus XP, but you can do slow and steady anyway. There's not, outside of that one particular thing where it's a PvP server, it's very similar. You can even do hardcore there if you are a glutton for punishment. I would be terrified if I had to do that. Could you imagine if I put on all the green orc face mace, all the green orc face makeup like I did that one time, but I did it for an IRL stream? Just terrifying little kids. Oh, look, that man's fishing. Oh my god, he's green, run! And then I have that stupid denture thing that keeps falling out of my mouth that I hated using. Now, I will say, if you can get a fishing boat to work here, I think this might be one of the better fishing spots. 2 reasons. One, you are actively camping where there could be a rare spawn elite. So it's pretty quiet here. The catch rates here, you know, I've been fishing for a while now. Looks like I'm up to 12% stone scale eel. That's pretty good rate. And my rate of catching of Globe of Water, Elemental Water, and Essence of Water has been good. You know what, Sonic? If that ever happened, that would be a great YouTube short to have. What happens when an orc meets with a fishing warden? Could you imagine if I did the entire thing in like RP? Like he shows up. Oh, hey, how's it going? Do you have your fishing license? I go, Loktar, brother. Yes, I have my fishing license right here. When he leaves, I'm like, strength and honor. Vrograg needs to make a comeback. Yash, I have to tell you, that took so much work. Hold on, wait, Dragrag? Nope, that's not the right picture. I missed my catch. Where is that picture? Do I still have that? That's regular. There's Dragrag. Oh no, Dragrag's small. There, that's Dragrag. I mean, it was like an hour and a half, 2 hours of makeup before. I think I'd rather do a fishing stream. I think I'd have to spend less time setting up for a fishing stream. I'm not even lying. Dragrag or what was the drag queen name I used? Vrogina. What about if I do both? In drag and as a greenskin orc? Really confuse them? I'm glad people appreciated it. I mean, I was really excited we raised a bunch of money for that LGBT charity. That was awesome. It was a good experience. And best of all, I think a lot of people in the LGBT community like got to network and meet each other and, you know, share with each other like nice open places they can be themselves in. So that was really the like very happy to see that. Vrogina. Remember, that's a short sounding I, not the long sounding I. What's your name? My name's Vrogina. You know, I wouldn't ever want to support Blizzard. If I can avoid it, I will never support Blizzard. However, the potential comedy from me showing up like in a fishing outfit in green skin at something like a BlizzCon, that would be fun. Do they have conventions that are like related to WoW but are specifically not involved with Blizzard? I'd go to that. You know, we need like a private server Woodstock. We need something like that. Yash, I never would. Are you kidding? Rock Ingrid, I knew you would say it. PAX? Yeah, okay, but here's the thing, right? Okay. So, I understand people do cosplay, right? And sometimes they have very obscure cosplays, right? And part of the fun is waiting for people to get it. I don't know if the Turtle WoW community is big enough to get that I'm Vrograg. That I don't... Otherwise, I'm just going to look like a Fisher Orc, which I guess is okay, but I would much more like to meet someone from the Turtle WoW community. Also, I would like to not go to Boston. All my northern New England homies understand. You play Monkey. You should. Monkey is the kind of person to post that all the time. It's in okay, hold on. Blessed. Pennsylvania also has big cities in it. Is it near Pittsburgh? Is it near Philadelphia? I'd much rather Pittsburgh, because I've been to Philadelphia. Oh, it is Philly. Oh no, it's worse than I thought. The things that I don't like about Boston, I think, also exist in Philadelphia. I think it's as bad because I think they had some huge fire back in the 1800s, so they straightened out some of their roads. But if you've ever driven in Boston, like, the roads don't make sense because when Boston was founded, a city planner, like, didn't exist, or if it did, they didn't have one in colonial America. So, only fine people like the Dutch thought ahead and planned out New York. Well, no, Froze, of course you like Boston. You live there. You can just get onto the T and go where you need to go. But if you live in northern New England, you're like, you have to put the metal plating on your car. You have to get someone to be the gunner on the sunroof. And you have to make sure you can use a shotgun with your offhand if you're driving, right? Because driving in Boston's serious. Like, you have to be ready. It slowly builds up. If you've ever watched Mad Max Fury Road, it's sort of like that. It slowly builds and builds, and it gets crazier and crazier until you're driving in Boston. And then, like, you'll actually see the guy with the huge speakers, the flamethrower, like, and he's like, it's like, witness me! And you're like, I just want to know where the Panera is! And then you hear gunshots, and then these guys with spray paint on their face jump onto your car, and, like, they want to talk to you about the Red Sox, and you don't know what to do. So, you know, it's a lot to take in. Oh, yeah, I guess... Oh, yeah, you're stuck in the middle. I will say some of the wildest driving I've ever dealt with has been in Rhode Island. Yeah, when their accents are so sharp, you're like, oh man, that's technically English, isn't it?
Feel the earth. Flow with the wind.
Yeah. No, Froze, the only time I have seen twice in 10 minutes someone put on directionals and then go the opposite direction was in Rhode Island. Is it a thing they do? They're like, I'm gonna put my left blinker, but I'm gonna go right. On the highway. No one's gonna see it coming. And you know what? No one would see it coming. Yeah, and you know what else, Sonic? I know you and I are of an age. When we grew up, when we were younger, going to Boston meant having to deal with the Big Dig. So that was also psychologically scarring. Oh man, I love that board game. If anyone hasn't tried out the board game Thunder Road Vendetta, you should try it. It's really fun. And Sonic, I can't keep up a Boston accent for long enough. If you feed me some drinks, I can break into a very good, like, New York accent. But I can only do it when I'm not trying. You know what, Sonic? At least it's better than, Justin's, British accent. I'm kind of amazed at how many different fish you can catch in this water. Oh, jeez. Yeah. Posture check? I do okay with posture, Rockangren. The people in YouTube chat can't see that, but there's a Twitch point reward thing to make me check posture, to drink water, or some other thing that I can't remember. Stretch. Yes. So, for context, my buddy Justin, who I play Call of Cthulhu with Sonic and Murog, and another friend of ours, the Call of Cthulhu adventure that we're playing takes place in London around like the 1930s, early 1930s. And like I don't really try doing an accent. I just kind of try to sound a little haughty because my character's like a bit of an aristocrat. But Justin, however, who also plays, tried to do a British accent, but for whatever reason, when he does it for long enough, it starts becoming Bostonian. And now he leans into it, so it's even worse. You lean to your right more frequently? Hold on. To my right? Wait. Wait, hold on. Do I lean to my right more? Or is my camera not level? Okay, great. You did or what if my foundation isn't level? Maybe I should keep one of like a little level, like just over me, so you can see if I'm off balance. The reason for that, by the way, is because the screen that I'm looking at for gameplay and interacting with chat is on the left. So straight ahead, I have like I have a monitor here, and a monitor there. So if I look dead ahead, I'm actually like almost looking between two monitors, so I have to look this way a little bit, and that naturally makes me want to lean. So I could stop leaning, but... Also, the directions are reversed. Because, like, if I show you writing, that should say, like, that's my naked smoke juice, but it's reversed. Alright. Well, job well done, Raukangren. Now I'm self-conscious about it. It worked. My lower back is almost exhausted. What do you know about exhaustion? I know no exhaustion. I have given myself rhabdomyolysis. I do not accept exhaustion. I accept that my body is failing. Hey, Riddle, how's it going? That's right. Riddle knows exactly where we're at. We are in the Furbo Caverns. I need to desperately clear out this bag. Desperately. Okay. Yeah, it saddens me. I really wish there was something better I could use with these lobsters, but there really isn't. Yellowtail's useless. Raw summer bass. Zesty clam meat's gotta go. Red gill. Mitefish. Glossy mitefish can go too, I guess. I could send that to Rexana. I think that's would help her level up her cooking. Strangle kelps. Bolts. All that stuff. That's probably not worth that much. You know, maybe I can do that thing where I like to run around in RP in areas and try to sell my fish. I mean, yeah, I did pretty well here. Where's my... yeah, Riddle, I think it's one of the highest spirit foods available. the thing is, I think just priests use it. Other healers will just use MP5 food. I don't know what paladins do. Maybe they could use it. I don't know how paladin healing works. Are they like an MP5 gang, or are they spirit gang? I'm pretty sure druids are spirit gang, right? Because they have what's that called? Enervate, which is spirit based. Either way, I know whichever one you have, you try stacking. With 4 more, that means it's 12 more, so that's gonna be 23. So it's gonna be 32 elemental water, 2 essence of water, some Rumsey Rum Black Label, which I probably got more of because I already had a stack started. I mean, look at that. That's good money right there. Okay, but Riddle, I still know that paladin healers exist. Like, they didn't all abandon ship and go, I can never heal again. I know I can heal forever. Shamans hate this one trick thing stopped, but I just don't know. Generally, healers like to have some mechanic to help them maintain their mana. I just don't know which one it is for paladins. Melee Holy Paladin is OP. Well, wasn't that like the concept? They wanted to make a melee healing paladin? I don't know. Well, okay, so even if it's OP, how do they maintain their mana? That's still my question. You guys think I can kill the Barkskin Ursa? I don't have my Thunder Fury on. Hold on, let's see. Okay, he's hitting me hard. Invasion's gonna end soon. Put out Flourish. And we got him. Whew, that was close. What did Blizzard mean by giving Furbolgs thongs? I'll never know. And if I do find out, I'll never tell. I mean, why do you... let's be honest. If you're covered in fur, like, is clothing that necessary? Serious question, you know? Seal of Wisdom and Holy Strike doesn't cost anything. Okay. So they maintain their mana by auto-attacking with Seal of Wisdom? Okay. I don't know if Holy Strike gives them mana back. Maybe it does. Well, that's a personal choice, Riddle. I would never make you wear pants. I'm a the human body is beautiful kind of person. So just know that about me. Even if you're like, no, it's gross. I'm like, I get it, but I don't know. In college, I did modeling as an art student, or not art student, as an art model, as a nude art model. So like, I just got really comfortable with it, and I don't know. I feel like I got a different appreciation for the human form after that. So I don't think there's anything that shameful about walking around naked. I'm not like an exhibitionist or like a nudist, but it just doesn't bother me. Pixar didn't happen. I can't share those on YouTube, Gildark. If you'd like to see them, though, only fans/Frograg. I have been periodically tempted to just do an OnlyFans, but only have like stupid jokes in there. You got Discord? Yeah, but you better have PayPal too. That ain't gonna be for free. I know what I'm worth. I know what I'm worth. Only Vrog. Now we're talking. Also, I don't even know what am I doing here? Okay, all right. Yeah, because I was going to wrap up now anyway. Yep. I started at 11, so 3-hour stream is good for me. Okay, well, everyone, thanks for stopping by, chatting for a little bit. Sorry to the people that just showed up and like hear me saying I'm going to be heading out. Later today, if you're in Blackwing Guard or you are friendly with Blackwing Guard, you can come join at 6 p.m. Eastern. This won't be streamed. I'm doing a little social activity. It's a fun social deduction game called Blood on the Clock Tower. It's reskinned for our guild. I'll be running that. But I should be taking it easy today. I might do a little work on some of the icons. I think anything else. Yep, and probably next you'll hear from me will be on Tuesday when I do the Turtle Wow News Radio. Also, if you're not listening to Everlook Radio, keep an ear out. I don't want to spoil it, but if you hear my top news segment, you will see that I snuck a song of my own choosing into the news. No one's called it out or said anything, so I guess it's okay. Because remember, kids, don't ask permission, ask for forgiveness. Yeah, Sonic, get to bed. We'll chat later about that thing. Also, if you're a miner, there's an RTV right here, right in Dark Hallow Pass, for the taking. So, I'll do my normal wrap up. As always, take care of yourself, take care of one another. When you're playing games, make sure you're having fun, because that is the point of playing games. And remember, as always, the deadliest weapon is knowledge. Bye, guys.